If you are older, you might remember not too long ago, if you went to the doctors, you could stay and discuss things with your doctor. As a matter of fact, even today, there's hundreds of commercials that tell you to go in and recommend to discuss certain things with your doctor. Rarely does that happen ever since the advent of the HMOs, the managed care. Today, you are allotted 15 minutes with your doctor and feel privileged if you get a few moments extra. To say that older adults are concerned about future health care and the escalating cost is an understatement. A huge health care concern I believe we should all be aware of and really make note of is the Medicare Medicaid fraud. Now, fraud in the medical field is nothing new. As a matter of fact, it dates back to the 1800s. In 1883, they came out with the Lincoln Law, also known as the False Claim Act. You may remember July 2017, 400 doctors, nurses, pharmacists, and other medical professionals were arrested for 1.3 billion fraud. They were accused of overprescribing and overproviding opioids, however you say that, opioids. Keep in mind, more than money is at stake when fraud is involved. It can lead to death, tests, unnecessary procedures, and unnecessary surgeries. Now, the whole point of me making this video, some may ask, is why are you even talking about this? What are you going to do? Well, I'm hoping to bring enough awareness to even save one life. Because with the fraud going on, if you're not aware of it, I wasn't aware this was happening. I always had my suspicions, but maybe you can help yourself or help someone else by being informed and knowing about this. I believe there needs to be a discussion of healthcare towards older adults, the vulnerable adults, particularly the ones 80 plus years old in the United States. Some doctors don't even have care plans. They just spend their allotted 15 minutes with a patient, maybe prescribe them something, and then write it off to, Lord help me with this old hag. Often older adults are over-medicated. How do I know this? I personally had this happen. And also, now that I've been traveling and meeting up with family and friends, I have witnessed personally a few friends and family members who are definitely over-medicated. I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert, but simple things. One of them is on a couple depression pills, still feels depressed, when reality, all he really needs to do is start moving and eating better and getting outside and getting some sunshine. Again, how do I know this? Well, there's been tons of documents on it. Plus, I have been in that situation where I would stay inside and continue working. And then once I would get outside or go to the gym and exercise, I feel 100 times better. I get it. Some people definitely need to be on depression pills, but a couple, he's not even sure what all he's on. It's just so sad that they just keep popping pills down his throat. I wonder if they're making commission off these prescriptions. They just don't care, most of them. Now, also, the fact that the older adult population will more than double from 1995 to 2050. Then there will be approximately 86 million older adults, those again 80 plus years old. In 1900, the older adults were comprised of 1 in every 25. In 2050, it's going to be closer to 1 in every 5 will be an older adult. Again, 80 plus years old here in America. And with these more older, vulnerable Americans, 80 plus, comes more chronic illness, more need for support services, and for many, even assistance with daily activities. And on top of it, there is little to no training for psychological needs for these aging Americans who are often depressed, abandoned, and powerless. Now, along with this, we have loneliness and isolation. Loneliness is a subjective feeling. It differs from person to person, and it can include external loneliness when you have the loss of a spouse, a child, or a pet. When someone or something has occupied a space and is no longer there. Then internal loneliness, and that is normally brought on by a life event. It can be a vague feeling that has to do with regrets, unfulfilled dreams, and the loss of the intimacy when a loved one passes on. There are so many losses that an older adult can experience. Loss of status, loss of power, control, importance, mobility, being needed, independence. The list can go on. Now, there are some ways we can help decrease loneliness for our aging adults. One is, if you are a churchgoer, maybe speak to your pastor and see if they can do some type of outreach program for the older adults in your community. Another is, if you're able, maybe go ahead and do some visits face-to-face with some older adults. Keeping in mind when I do that is there is a big difference with privacy and loneliness. I do respect their privacy. Even though they want privacy, doesn't necessarily mean they're not lonely. So I always just make sure I call before I go visit someone. And then when I leave, I'll often ask, can I have a hug and can I come and visit again? And there's financial stress. Outliving your healthcare costs is another huge reality for our aging Americans. My Utopia hope is that all individuals will be treated with the same respect, and that money would not be important to the character of one's assessment. Hubert Humphrey once said, "The morality of a country is evident in how they treat their elderly." Till next time.